Well, we're well into June now. It's the 14th today, right at the back end of May, and for a couple of days at the start of June the fish are actually spawning in both my syndicates. So as I always like to do, I gave them a bit of a break afterwards as well. It's always good to give them a few days just to rest up and recuperate a bit. It's quite a stressful time for them. They do get battered about a fair bit, as you will probably see if you catch any fish over the next month or so. There's quite often scales missing, sores on the sides, and they generally do look in quite ropey condition, to be honest, on the whole. But like I say, it's the middle of June now, so it's a good couple of weeks since they spawned. I did come out right at the back end of last week, did a quick night Wednesday night and Thursday night, and it was a rather frustrating couple of nights, in all honesty. Basically I had two takes, and I lost both of them, which, after not losing a fish all year, is quite frustrating, to be honest, but it is what it is, and we move on, and hope that the next one hits the back of the net. I did actually see the big common last week, right down in close. She looked in pretty good condition, to be fair. I should imagine she's probably dropped down into the high 30s now. She was just over £40 last time she was caught, but obviously if she spawned, then chances are she's dropped £2 or £3 since then. She was well clayed up on her sides, but she did look in good nick. She was with a group of about another 4 or 5 fish that I could see, right close into the bank as well, probably only 3 to 4 feet out, something like that. It was a bit of a difficult one because I didn't want to set up right on top of them, because I knew if I did, then they would just do the off. You know, it's they were too close in, and there was too many of them to try and sneak a rod or two down in the edge even. So my plan was to head just round the corner from where I saw her. I was going to bait heavily down either margin, plonk a rod on top of each baited area, and then just ping a single hook bait over to the reed line, just to the side of where I'd seen her. Everything went absolutely perfectly to plan. So I've got a load of mozzies around me. Everything went perfectly to plan. The single hook bait went down nicely. Both the rods in the margins were fishing as I'd want them, and I was quite confident going into the night, in all honesty. Then about 1:30 in the morning, the right hand margin rod just sort of slowly picked up. I lifted into it, and it was a strange sort of sensation, really. The more I kind of tried to lean into it, it just felt like it was pulling through, and then it sort of bumped over something, and everything just fell away. Didn't really click at the time because I was still half asleep, but I rebaited the rig, put it back out on the spot, got my head back down. No more than 10 minutes later, the rod picked up again, but the rod didn't go round this time. The bobbin just picked up to the blank, and then no more than 8 to 10 seconds later, the left hand rod, the other margin rod, picked up and did the same, which was obviously, looking back now, it was a fish that was probably trailing a bit of line or even a lead. So that was quite frustrating. So I just recast the right hand one. So after that it got pulled up and probably out of place again, I had to reel that one in, and the left hand one, redo them both again. Then I got my head back down. It was probably around about, I don't know, 2:15 time, I should imagine, at this point. Thankfully after that nothing came back and went through the lines again, and at 3 in the morning the right hand margin rod absolutely hooped round. I lifted into it, line started ticking off the spool, and with that everything just fell back, went slack, and it cut me off on something. So God knows what it was. I'm guessing the line had just gone round a rock or something down in the edge. I mean, there's a few mussel beds and bits and pieces in here as well, so whether it got cut off on something like that, I don't know. But the fight didn't last for overly long, and that was pretty much that for that night. The following night I came back, wanted to get back in the same swim again, but unfortunately there was somebody in there, and there was somebody a couple of swims up from him. Josh was over on the opposite side, along with another guy a couple of swims up, and there was a couple of guys doing some floater fishing in the evening as well, so it was rather busy. And basically I just dropped in the one swim that was left without having to kind of go in between anglers as such. It's quite a popular swim. It's one right down in front of the gate. It's not one I've ever fished before, in all honesty, so I had to have a bit of a lead about trying to find the spots, but I got all 3 rods out onto areas that I was reasonably happy with. The right hand rod was sort of down in close, the left one was over towards a bank of reeds on the far margin, and the middle one was just out into open water on a nice sort of clean, smooth, silty area that I'd found. Put plenty of particle in on the close one down onto the right hand margin, and the other 2 were just fished over boilie. And it was about 3 o'clock in the morning again, the right hand rod picked up. The rod sort of bent round, but there wasn't any line being taken from the spool, so I don't think it was an overly big fish. If I had to guess, I would say it was probably one of the little stockies perhaps, but as soon as I lifted into it, it just bumped straight off again. So yeah, I was a bit gutted. 2 takes in 2 nights, and neither of them had been on for any more than about 10 seconds or so. Nothing else happened that night, so I headed off early in the morning for work, and that pretty much brings us up until now. I'm down for a 2-night session. I've just got here from work now. I shall fish through tomorrow and get tomorrow night in as well before packing up early Wednesday morning, so fingers crossed something will happen tonight. It's a swim that I've fished in the past, where I had that old wrinkly mirror from off the top about 3 or 4 weeks back, and then I had I think it was a 24 common down the reed line, another little small stocky common as well. So it's a swim I've got a bit of confidence in. I'm expecting tomorrow for them to be up hitting the surface once again, so I've got the floater rod all ready to go with me. So once that morning feeding spell is out of the way, as long as conditions are favourable and I haven't got any wind in my face or anything like that, I shall probably try and get 1 or 2 off the top again. But for now I'm going to get myself some dinner, and that will probably be about it for tonight, unless I see you with a fish in my hands before tomorrow morning. So I shall leave it there and keep my fingers crossed. Right, well, just had this one. It's very lively at the moment. Keeps tensing up. It's just gone £18.8 off of a little spot down to the right. I think I lost one off of it earlier. It was a funny old take, so I'm not too sure. I don't know whether it was that or another trailer like I had last week. So yeah, it's nice to get off the mark for the session with this one. I'm going to get a couple of quick photos, get the rod rebaited, and get fishing for the rest of the night. I think it's about midnight now, so the night is still young. You never know, there might be some more before daybreak gets here. Right, well, we've just had this chunky little one. I'm guessing it's one of the new stockies. Probably just about scraping into double figures, I should imagine. Off the same spot as that one earlier on. And there's a fair few still moving around there, so it seems to be kicking off down on that spot at the moment. So I shall get this one back, and we'll see if we can grab another one off of there. It's just about 3:15 at the moment, so yeah, it's all going good. Cracking little fish. Well, it's been a pretty mad morning, in all honesty. This is number 4 now. I've lost one as well. This has just gone 21.6. Had a little small mirror as well about half hour, 40 minutes ago. And they've all come off of the same spot as well. They've just gone absolutely crazy over the bait over there. Nice mix of the pure bait concepts. Mix of the Vitamino B Plus and the Amino Marine. A bit of the Vitamino liquid on there as well, and some prep powder. And they've just gone crazy over that spot. I baited quite heavily this time round, and it really seems to be paying off. I'm going to get a couple of photos of this one, plonk it back out there, and see whether that action is going to carry on through today as well. If it does, I think I may well run out of bait. Well, everything's quieting down a little bit now. Probably not a bad thing in all honesty, because I'm getting a bit low on bait, so it'd be quite nice to have something put out tonight. I'm just about to redo and recast the rods. It's only early afternoon at the moment, but I've got a reasonable breeze blowing straight into my face, so I don't think that the floater fishing is going to be on for tonight. So I'm just going to get the bottom rod sorted and in the water and baited up while the fish are sort of out sunning themselves in the middle. With that, I thought I'd just show you the rigs that I've been using. There's nothing overly complicated about it at all, in all honesty. The one that I've had all of the fish on last night, and most of my fish over the last, well, obviously before they were spawning, it's just been a straight bottom bait rig. I've been fishing a double 15mm hook bait. Try and get it a bit close to the camera there for you. But that's all I've been using. There's a Pure Bait Concepts Amino Marine and a Vitamin AB on there. And as you can probably see, that's a Fox size 5 medium curve, just with a couple of bits of silicone around the shank, one right on the top bend to trap the hair in place, and that just helps really kick the hook round aggressively when that hook link is tightened up. Another thing you'll notice is it is quite a short hook link as well, probably 4 to 5 inches. This is because I'm mainly fishing a mix of everything down there. There's particle pellets, there's also the boilie mixed in, but because of the way they tend to feed over particle, because it's generally quite a big bed of bait rather than single baits like it would be when you're boilie fishing, they don't tend to be moving about so much when they're feeding. They will kind of sit on it and almost graze over it whilst they pick all the bait up off the bottom. So generally a short hook link is the way to go in that instance, because there's less material to tighten up. So if you've got quite a long hook link and they're coming in and they're picking the bait up without tightening that hook link, there's a decent chance that you're probably not going to hook them, or if you do, it's not going to be a great hook hold. So a little short rig like that generally does the job a lot better in this instance. Going back from there, it's just a standard lead clip setup. Got a little anti-tangle sleeve there, going over the quick change swivel, a 3-ounce fat pair lead, and then there's about, I don't know, getting on for a metre of the 30-pound Fox submerged leader. So yes, all pretty simple, and all I've been doing on that, just to save the tangles and get a little bit of extra attraction in the area, is just a little small PVA bag of crushed amino marine and vitamino. That's just being nicked over the hook like that, and that's what's been doing the damage this last few hours. So I'm going to plonk this out in the water, get a little bit more bait out around it, and then I shall redo the other couple of rods as well, and hopefully getting them all in and set early on will pay dividends later on. Well, just had this little bait thief down on that same spot again. First tench of the year, not quite how I would have chosen to record it, to be honest, on the cart rods, but it's it's been a rather quiet day today up until this point. First of all, we're up on the top just cruising about. Not really interested in anything, even mixers and that. They've had a few, but I've not really been too bothered. So I've got the rods out nice and early, and this one's just come and smashed the swim up out in front of me, so I shall pop him back and then try and get things set again ready for tonight. Well, it's just going into the second night now. All the rods are out there and settled. Got a bit more bait on the spots, so fingers crossed there might be a bit of action through the hours of darkness, or maybe early tomorrow morning before I head off for work. There's 3 of us down here tonight. I've got Chris just up from me, and Josh, who is probably a couple hundred yards away. So fingers crossed something might happen tonight. One of us might have one, and I shall pretty much leave it at that. Get a few bits and pieces packed away before tomorrow morning, and if I don't see you again before I head off for work, then I shall see you possibly Thursday night, if not next week at some point. Down the lake again for a quick night between work, and Josh headed down here earlier when he finished at 1 o'clock, and when I messaged him earlier, he's only gone into the swim that I was hoping to fish. Not only that, but he's expecting me to bring him down a nice hot pizza from Leonardo's. Now, I don't take too kindly to people going in the swim that I want to fish, especially when they're asking for favours as well. So I think it's about time to get a little bit of revenge. I mean, he's expecting me to deliver him by hand on the bank 10 hot, cheesy, meaty inches, and I'm afraid he's going to be sadly mistaken, because what he's expecting is something that looks a little bit like this. Nice warm pepperoni and mushroom pizza, whole 10 inches of it. But because he's gone in the swim that I want to go in, and he's not even apologised for it, I've eaten my pizza on the way over here, and I decided to stop in Sainsbury's, and the old pizza box for my pizza, I've got him about 6 inches of lovely, very basic cheese and tomato pizza by Sainsbury's. Now I hope he's going to be thankful of this, because at least I didn't get him a frozen one, but I guess we'll have to get out of the car, walk it down to him and see what he says. Pizza delivery for Mr. J Blanks a lot.
I saw you walking up. Up there, thank you.
Fucking.
I've been looking at Chester Freezer. I thought it was light, and then
What's up, mate?
You're being serious.
What? Do you not want the Sainsbury's basic cheese and tomato pizza?
No.
Would you like this one instead then?
Yes, I do. Are you recording? Oh, you...
Well, it's Sunday the 20th of June now. I'm down for the first time in a long while on my other syndicate lake. Nothing happened the other night after I pulled that prank on Josh, unfortunately. We both just got absolutely soaked the following day when we were packing everything up, so that wasn't an awful lot of fun. Yeah, I got down here last night, had a little common overnight, 16.2, a really feisty little thing. And speaking of feisty little things, and with it being Father's Day today, I've been joined on the bank by another little member of the family who spent most of the day and last night either in bed or stuffing her face. It's about all she does when we come fishing, to be honest. So we've just had a bit of a bite to eat for lunch, and it looks like we're now going to have a game of Uno before the rain and everything sets in again, because it looks like it's going to come over pretty dark in a minute, looking at the clouds over the back. So fingers crossed we might have another fish before we go home, so Mrs. Sleepy Pants can actually see one, because she didn't get out of bed last night. And if not, I shall be out on the other syndicate tomorrow night again for a couple of nights is the plan. I think the weather's supposed to be a little bit better by then, hopefully, so fingers crossed the bivvy will have a chance to dry out over those couple of days. So I'll leave it there for now, and I shall go lose massively at Uno, and we'll see you again at some point, hopefully this afternoon. If not, then probably tomorrow evening. Wait, bye bye. How's it go? Yep, you're a weirdo.
You not noticed in the last 11.5 years?
Mm-hmm. There we go. It's the first one from this week. What a cracking little character this one is as well. Little tiny stubby short tail on him. Real breeze block of a fish. It's just gone £20.8. Really made up with this one. It's a cracking little fish. I'm really loving some of these commons that are in here. Really nice whole fish. But, right, just going to get a couple of quick photos of this one, pop him back, because as my one ripped off with this, my mate Chris up in the corner has just had one as well. So I'm going to get this one sorted, pop round there, get his one photographed and sorted out, and then get the rods back in the water, because it's still only quite early. I think it's about 11 o'clock time now. I've just got the rod sorted out again. Got the right hand rod back down on the margin spot where I just had that low 20 common. I've had to redo the left hand rod as well because it did get around that line a little bit right at the end of the fight. Went round and photographed Chris's fish for him. I think it was another little original common, probably about 13-14 pound, I should think, something like that. So yeah, it's quite a nice result. We both had a fish each. The night is still young as well. It's about 12:30 now. We had the fish around about 11:30, I would say. So there's still plenty of time yet to grab another one. I have been getting quite a few sort of early morning bites out of here lately, between that sort of 3 to 6 in the morning kind of time, so hopefully we might have something else to show you before daybreak, and if not, I shall catch up with you at some point tomorrow morning, and we'll go from there. But well pleased with the results so far. It's always nice to get one quite early on, and it was nice that Chris had one at the same time as well. I'm going to get my head down now, and hopefully I shall be seeing you shortly with another fish in the net. Right, well, it's about 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon now. I'm just looking out over the lake now, and I can see a fair few fish all over in the far corner, in the same swim that I had that hit of 5 from last week. They've been there most of the day, in all honesty, and I have been very close to moving. Still a little bit twitchy sort of watching them over there because they are there in numbers, but I am hoping that they will do the same as they did yesterday, because they were in a similar sort of area when I got down from work, but they did slowly push over this way as the afternoon and evening wore on. So I'm planning on getting the rod sorted in a minute, in the hope that they're going to do the same again tonight. Now, I've got the wind pushing over into me as it was yesterday evening, and I'm actually over here by myself tonight as well. Chris headed off at about 7 o'clock this morning, and there's been nobody else come down today, so I may just have the lake all to myself tonight. As you probably guessed, there was nothing else happened last night. I had a big liner on my right hand rod at about 3 in the morning, but other than that, it was just that little flurry of action between about 11:30 and midnight between me and Chris, with those 2 commons, and that was that. So yes, like I say, I'm going to go and get the rods sorted out and rebaited for the night now. Got plenty more of the sort of particle and boiling mix to stick out there, and I should probably get myself some dinner on, and I've got the laptop here as well to pop the England game on tonight. Just in case I struggle getting to sleep, then hopefully that might help me along like it did on Friday when they played Scotland, because I don't think I've ever seen such a boring game of football. So I shall leave that there, get these rods sorted, and fingers crossed I will see you again at some point soon with another fish on the bank. just going into the last night now. Just finished watching the football. Slightly better game than Friday, but I did still drop off for about 10 minutes in the second half, I've got to admit. All the rods are sorted out now. Got one down either margin. The middle rod I've just pinged with a single hook bait across the bay to a bank of reeds on the far side. More in hope than anything that something might just be mooching along there and come across it at some point. And that's about it really. The next time I'm due out on the bank is going to be Friday now this week. The little one wants to go and have another night with me, so I shan't be back down here Thursday. It will be back over to the other Syndicate Lake. And yeah, that is about it really. See what happens tonight. Fingers crossed I may well have one at some point before I head off to work. I'm going to go and get bits and pieces sort of tidied up and put away now. A little bit less to do in the morning. And I shall then get my head down and await tonight's events. Hopefully something may happen before I have to wake up and head off around sort of 6 o'clock tomorrow. So I shall leave it there and go and get myself sorted. Well, a bit late in the day, right in the middle of packing up, and this one absolutely ripped off of the right hand margin spot. Just weighed it, it's gone 19.7. Cracking old mirror. I think it's another original from what I can tell. And it's probably also cost me my morning bacon roll and coffee, I should imagine, because I don't I'm going to have time to get that now. So I'm going to get a quick couple of photos of this one, pop her back, carry on packing away, and hopefully get back in time for work. Lovely old fish. Right, well I'm back down the Syndicate Lake again tonight. It's going to be another rather quick night because I've got to be up and packing away at 4 o'clock in the morning to get over to the little day ticket lake that I fished at the back end of last month. I'm heading there with Simon this time around, and to be fair the conditions are looking pretty favourable at the moment. You know, it's nice and overcast. It's reasonably warm without being absolutely baking hot. So it should be about spot on for them over there, I'd hope. So fingers crossed we'll have a few to show you tomorrow during the day. As far as tonight goes, I'm back in a swim that I've done a fair bit in lately, but I've had quite a few rewards out of here, and as long as those rewards keep coming and the confidence stays high, then I shall keep dropping in here as and when I can. All 3 rods are already out. Probably got about 6 kilo of bait out there, a mix of particle, pellet and boilie, which may sound a lot for an overnighter, especially a sort of quick overnighter, but they do seem to like the bait in here. I've caught well over big beds of bait, even in quite short periods of time, so even if nothing happens tonight, then the plan is tomorrow, once I've got back from the other lake, I can just come straight back in here, unless I see something else tonight to massively change my mind. But I can drop all 3 rods straight back down on the same spots again, give them a little bit of a top up, and get myself fishing nice and quickly, because it will probably be quite late by the time I'm here tomorrow night, I would have thought. Yeah, other than that, I did head over to my other Syndicate Lake on Friday night with the little one. Not a lot happened, unfortunately. It was very quiet over there. I think there was either 4 or 5 of us on, but nobody had a touch all night. But it's just one of those lakes over there, to be honest. It is very much all or nothing, and if you're there when it's in one of its sort of nothing periods, then it's very difficult to try and make anything happen, especially on a quick night session like what we did at the weekend. But yeah, so this will be the last couple of nights of this month's diary, and hopefully we can finish it on a fish or two. If not here, then over at the day ticket tomorrow. And then going into July, I've got a couple of exciting trips planned for something a bit different. This Sunday I'm heading out with another one of my friends, Gareth. We're going out into the Wash from Wells Next to Sea in Norfolk, and we're going to get the tote rods out. So fingers crossed we'll have a bit of action while we're out there. It's always a day that I look forward to when I get to go. And it's been a long while since I've been out there, to be honest. Both trips I had booked up for last year got cancelled because of poor weather, so hopefully it'll hold on and be okay for us this year. But then when I get back from there, sort of early to mid-afternoon on the Sunday, I shall be heading down the shed and getting all the cat rods sorted out, because I've been invited down to Albans Lakes by Jackie and Jay Proud of Catmaster Tackle. So they're doing 2 nights down there. I'm staying for a third one after they've headed off. But it'll be quite nice to get the cat rods out again. I've not had them out of the bag since I got back from Churchwood at the end of April. And if this session goes anything like that one did, then we should have a hell of a couple of nights over there. But we'll see what happens. I say I'm excited to do something a little bit different. It's always nice to mix it up every now and then. And both Jackie and Jay do know the lakes very well down there, from what I can tell. So I'm sure they'll put me on the right path, and hopefully we'll get a catfish or two between us. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Going to get the camera popped away. Probably get the bivvy popped up, I think, because it's just starting to spit with rain, unfortunately. I was hoping I was going to get away with just sleeping under the stars tonight, but I'm not sure I'm going to get that privilege now, looking out over the lake. And yeah, I shall get all that sorted and then get my head down, ready for an early wake up and pack away tomorrow morning. So if I don't see you between now and then, I shall see you at the day ticket lake tomorrow, and fingers crossed we'll have a few fish to show you as well. You're getting there. Only one away now.
Hey?
I said you're only one away from me now. very much a case of little and large.
Yeah.
So had two within
video, is it?
Yeah, had two within about 5 minutes or so. I'd literally just cast the rod out for this one over near an overhanging willow. Simon's one's gone off as he's been resetting his other rod. I've just netted that one, gone back to sort the line out on this rod, and this one's picked up and gone away. I'll get my little one put back, get a couple of photos of Simon's and get the rods back out in the water.
Happy days.
Was that 7 fish now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, double take number 2 of the day. Literally just got the rods, well, I got one of mine out, Simon got both of his out and headed up to the toilet. As I've cast my second one out, his left hand rod's gone, and as I've been playing that one in, my right hand one's melted off. So I've got 2 rods going at the same time. Oh. Well,
try it again. A bar of soap in it.
As you can tell, mine's been having a bit of a rest in the sling. But yeah, long story short, double take about 10 minutes after the first double take. I should get mine back again because I've ended up with a smaller fish of the 2 again. Get a couple of photos of Simon's.
Change, eh? Alright, well done mate, well done.
Right.
Do you want to put that back on?
I think I might do, yeah, it's a bit lively.
It's a bit too lively. Oh, it is now.
Yeah. Just had this one. Probably going to be the last one of the day, possibly, but there may be a chance for another one. Just scraped over the 20 pound mark. And it's a cracking looking fish as well. That's 7 for the day for me now, I think it is. Simon's on 6. Just going to get the rods back in the water for the last sort of half hour or so. Fingers crossed we might see another one. Just had this one at last knockings, on 25/8, so it's the biggest one of the day. Gave me a right scrap in the water, and it's given me a thorough beating up on the bank as well. Yeah, lovely fish, great day again. That's 8 fish for myself now, 6 for Simon, and we've got 2 rods in the water as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if one of them rips off before we head off later on. Get a couple of photos, pop her back and start packing away. That's one of the day. Pack away time now. Lovely common, probably high double, 17, 18 pounds, something like that.
Great day mate, really
Yeah.
as always.
What's that, 16 fish altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
16, 17 fish. Cracking day.